Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're at in the world and what time you're listening to this. But it is morning for me right now. Welcome to day 23 of a Diary of Multi-Faceted Mama vlog series. So far, so good today. I will say I can feel a little bit more of the tired in my eyes today, but I also was like awake when my alarm went off this morning at 4 a.m. I wasn't in a place to go back to sleep. I was ready to get up and do whatever I needed to do, so I did that, or wanted to do. So I did. But someone didn't get the memo that it is mommy time in the morning and it's baby sleep time in the morning, and that someone did not want to go back to sleep. So baby is with me. I finally got her back to sleep and she's just laying next to me taking a rest. And two out of the four kids are also awake right now as well. So it is a fun morning. When I came on yesterday, I mixed up my days for the vlog, and I shared that I had some frustrations in the morning and some of what I did to navigate that. So that was really helpful, actually. Some of that clarity that came out of my reflections, my meditation, my talking, all of that stuff that I was doing yesterday to help myself navigate, feel, move through, process the frustrations I was feeling. It was all really helpful because it carried throughout the day that day, and it's carried over to this morning as well. And so we have some new plans, new ideas of how I want to move forward in certain areas, which is really exciting. I asked my husband yesterday if he would help me with some website stuff, which is super exciting, and he said that he would, and just some really cool things coming up the pike that I've gained more and more clarity on. So that's exciting. Yesterday, I'm trying to think yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Oh, yesterday I got the chance to do an in-person networking luncheon with a bunch of ladies who, all of which were awesome. And I just have to say, reflecting on that, I haven't done an in-person networking group for years because of COVID. And then obviously I was very pregnant, and then I had the baby. And so baby and I both went yesterday, and it was just such a good time to meet in person, to connect in person, to talk with one another, just as humans, as women, some as fellow moms, many fellow business owners. It was just a really good time. And there was some yummy edible arrangements foods, which is always nice because I like chocolate and fruit, and when they're together, they're delicious. And right now, my 9, almost 10-year-old is venturing over, even though, where are you supposed to be right now?
Here.
No, is it before 7 a.m.?
No.
It is.
It's not. My clock said 7:07.
Well, I think that your clock is inaccurate. Why don't you go double check that?
Okay.
So we have a morning curfew in this house because my children are early risers. Most of my children are early risers. And so in order for mommy to have me time in the morning, we have a morning curfew that we stay in our room till 7 a.m. except for now, at this point, my oldest has to be up and out before that because her school time is earlier. So it doesn't apply to her anymore, but it still applies to the boys, the middle ones. And obviously the baby can't tell time, so it can't apply to her yet. So right now it applies to just the boys and not the girls, but it's not because they're girls and they're boys. It's nothing to do with that. It's just their ages. And so this one knew that and knows that. So he's going to go check the time. He's going to see what time it is, right? Because when we get to take time for ourselves, I'm talking especially to you ladies out there, when we choose to take time for ourselves and really take care of ourselves, we are able to be a better version of ourselves for those that we love, adore, care for. And we're able to be a better version of ourselves for ourselves too. So let's see what he says. Did you check the time in the kitchen? So I think our power went out last night. And when that happens, the clocks get messed up, right? I think that's part of what's confusing to him. But that's okay. He'll figure it out. Anyway, yesterday wasn't actually one of my work days. It was one of my every other days, right? So every other day I have a schedule set up for this season of my life where every other day I have a work day, and then every other day I am, focused on being mom, being home, taking care of the house stuff, all of that beautiful, lovely stuff. So that's the balanced schedule that works for me in this season of life. It will change and evolve as it always does, and that's okay. Did you check the time? And? Okay, so why don't you take that up to your bedroom, and then you can come back down a little bit, okay? Thanks, honey. I love you. And this is an example of how you can be a very loving, nurturing, compassionate parent, and also have clear, consistent boundaries. Now, I do also believe that boundaries that are too rigid cause challenge, right? So if there's too much rigidity, then that can create a lot of chaos and challenge and frustration and stress. And if there's, no structure at all, so like too much looseness, that also causes a lot of stress, anxiety, blah, 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 blah. So you got to find the middle ground, right? Where you are clear and consistent with your boundaries. And this applies to any relationship that's important to you. Where there are clear and consistent boundaries, but within those boundaries, there's some flexibility. And what that looks like for you is going to be different than what it looks like for me, and that's fine. But so if my kids are like sick, for example, or if I know that they're having an especially hard time emotionally or something like that, then I might allow them to be down here and lay next to me, and just for comfort and soothing, right? So there are times when I do make adjustments to that, but staying clear and consistent with your boundaries makes a huge difference. Being compassionate and loving and caring while you do that is such a relationship builder, right? Because they can trust and rely that, yes, you love them, yes, you are there for them, and also, yes, you are going to be clear and consistent about your expectations. It's not going to be super confusing, because when we're not clear and consistent, it becomes super confusing. Is she going to stick with this? Is she not? All of that. So I digress. I hear another child. You have everything you need, hon? I put your food in the air fryer. It should be ready now. So you can tell today is like a busier morning, right? I think it's on the shoe rack by the deck foyer. It's a busier morning, right? But if you're a parent, or you are friends with someone that's a parent, or whatever the case is, this is life. This is life. And last night, instead of folding the laundry, even though we have buckets full of it, you know what we did? We made apple pie. And we cut some flowers and put them in a vase for spring that is sprung. And we planted some fruit bushes that we've never planted before. We planted them in buckets and put them on the back deck to see if they're going to grow. If they do, then we'll replant them. But gotta enjoy life, right? Like, it was such a great evening, such a great day. And it's not because I didn't have any structure, because I did. I had an outline of what I wanted to get done for the day, of what I needed to get done for the day, and then also spacing for things that popped up, which they did for the day, because there's another issue with my car and things popped up with that. I need to take care of that. So it was a very full day, right? You can have a very full day and it not feel chaotic. But if there's no structure and or no flexibility within that structure, then it just feels overwhelming. So yesterday was a really fulfilling day, both on the work front, on the motherhood front, and then also on the marriage front, because I got to have just a nice conversation with my husband at the end of the day after all the kids were sleeping, and that was really nice too. So overall, today's vlog is very positive. Feels good, even though it's a bit busy in the background. And that's me sharing what it is to just be a multifaceted human being. You can be a doctor or a therapist or some other a boss or a CEO, and also have all these other facets of yourself. And that's a beautiful thing, because that's the human experience, and we can embrace all those different facets of us and be authentic, genuine, and true to who we are, and not be perfect, and things still be okay, right? And life, honestly, is much more enjoyable from that place. So that's all for today, folks. Got some kids to take care of. See you next time.